Assalamu Alaikum and welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys are doing well. Today I'm going to do a little reaction video with my mum. Do you want to say hi?
Hello, hi.
She's back again. The video that I'm going to react to is a video that I actually watched maybe a year ago now, and I found it really interesting. And the video was called The Meaning of Life, Muslim Spoken Word. So I'm going to give it a little watch with my mum and let's just see what her reaction is and what her thoughts are.
Okay.
What are we doing here? And where are we gonna go? It's like we just woke up one morning and then it's welcome to the show. Don't ask any questions, just go with the flow. Make as much money as you can and try your best not to get broke. Copy everything you see on the TV, from the hairstyles to the clothes, and don't think too often. Just do exactly as you're told. And if you ever get confused, then just turn towards the alcohol. You'll still hear your thoughts, then just turn up the radio as you learn to live a lifestyle of drugs, sex, and rock and roll. But in all honesty, I just need to know, is there more to the cycle than growing and getting old? Living and dying just to leave behind a happy home and a whole lot of property that somebody else is going to own. I just really need to know before the casket's closed, 'cause I'm not willing to gamble with my soul, nor am I ready to take any chances. These are just simple life questions and I'm just searching for some answers. Like, what are we doing here? And what is our purpose? How did we get here, and who made us so perfect? And what happens once we go, or is this world all really worth it? Questions we don't answer because apparently we don't really have to. There's no purpose to this life and our existence is merely natural. Then in that case, please let me ask you, did you create yourself or was it somebody else who had fashioned you? 'Cause you're a being that's impeccable, faultless and unparalleled. You're a product of supreme intelligence and I'm merely being rational. For there isn't a camera on this earth that can come close to the human eye, nor a computer that can compete alongside the human mind. And if the whole world was to come together, we wouldn't be able to create a single fly. So many signs, yet we...
So what do you think about it so far?
Yeah, it's quite interesting, and I've often thought some of them thoughts myself. But I think the whole part about being here is to find love and happiness. I'm getting emotional.
I think though it's quite interesting because you can get so caught up in life and just like making money and things, you know, like your possessions and all them kind of things, and a lot of the time you just don't think about basic things like how you were even created. Like even human beings wouldn't even be capable of creating a fly, and yet us human beings have been created. And it's like, it's just, when you start thinking about it, it's really incredible, isn't it?
I know. I think for me, the thing that made me realise there was a different reason for it was because when I had children, so when I had you,
Yeah.
and that's because then you're creating and you're not bothered about all you bother then is about the person that you've created and looking after them, and then afterwards you're not even worried about death. Well, me personally, because I think, well, I've had 2 babies, and that's what I've done my job on earth.
Still deny, as science tries to justify that all this could come from none, when it's a simple sum. 0 plus 0 plus 0 cannot possibly ever give you 1. So from where did all this order come? But everything has its origins, a maker, a creator of its own. I mean, the only reason you're watching this video is because somebody had to press upload so we can believe in the Big Bang, but I'd rather believe in He who caused it to explode. Allah, the creator of everything along with every single soul. The ever-living, the master, the only one who is in control. Unlike his creation, beyond our imagination. And no, he's not a man, nor does he have any partners in association. is on his own. And no, he did not ever leave us alone. Just like every manufacturer, he left us with an instruction manual. The Quran and Islam, and I'm sorry to jump to conclusions, but it's the only one possible. The only definition of God is the one and only supreme being. It's logical. A book with zero contradictions, with miracles that are both scientific and historical, all revealed over 1400 years ago. Like the detailed description of the human embryo.
The descriptions of the human embryo in the Quran cannot be based on scientific knowledge in the 7th century.
To the mountains as pegs holding firm the earth below, and the two seas that don't mix in a complete separate flow. To the planets in orbit, alternating night and day as they stay in flow. The expansion of the universe and the creation of everything from H2O. To the stories of the past and the preservation of Pharaoh. To identifying the lowest point in the land where Persia defeated Rome. The gushing fluid that created man in the glands between the ribs and the backbone. And not a word has changed, it's still the same. So please explain how all this was known over 1400 years ago. To a man who couldn't read or write as he would recite whatever the angels spoke. And if you...
I don't know whether you know about the story, but Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, he couldn't read or write, he was completely illiterate. And yet the angels came down to him and he's the one that then wrote down the Quran. And there's many scientific facts in the Quran that could not have been possible to know back then. So, for example, one of them is like the earth is round. Scientists didn't know that back then. Another one is how a baby is created from like a sperm drop. So many scientific facts that they only proved like so many years ago.
Still don't believe? Please try to come up with something that's even close. But you can't. So we took God as a mockery and his messengers as a joke.
Muhammad could not read or write. How somebody who can't read or write gonna start a religion?
Dismissed his scriptures as legends and tales of the ancient folk as we live life according to our whims, desires, and hopes. Saying this life is the only home we will ever know. We will live then die then simply turn to bones. YOLO! Correction, after the grass dies, the rain arrives and it regrows, and Allah promises to do the same thing to your very soul and bring you back from your very fingertips to your toes. As the all-seeing supreme being watches us so close, and we are surely being tested in our wealth, our health, and our self, and everything that we've been blessed with. So believe, for we will surely be resurrected and be brought back to our Lord and account for every single deed as he hands us our books and orders us to read. From the bad to the good and everything in between. You yourself are sufficient for your own accountability, so don't be mad at me. You are the one who thought he wouldn't come back to me. I gave you a whole life long to search after me, but you were busy in all that which was temporary, so read. And glad tidings to all those who believed, and if you disbelieve, read. And don't let that day be the first day you find out what your life really means. Read.
What did you think?
I think, yeah, it's really interesting, and it is a lot to think about, isn't it? And we go about our lives daily and not really worry too much, do we? But I do think that in life it's better keeping a smaller picture, because we're a small person on the planet. Like for me, it's just me. And then if you keep them thoughts, rather than thinking too large and then worrying about things. Like for instance, when coronavirus was about, as I was a carer then, and I saw everybody panicking about stuff that they couldn't do anything about or make a difference, but they should have worried I try to get the old folk to think about just what they can do
So,
to make a difference. And I think that's a bit like the life story here.
so what do you take from that video? You think that kind of video would worry people about?
Yeah, a lot of people would think, it's too much, too complicated. But I think if you just think about you and what you can do to make a difference to your family.
But I also think it's important though to understand and try and figure out where you've come from, especially if you have that belief that heaven is there, then you want to do your best to try and make it possible that you're going to go. I used to go about life just not thinking about God or creations or anything, and then it was when I went travelling I just started noticing things like trees and birds and animals, and I would think, wow, they have been created, everything around me has been created. The human body alone is just so complex, and when you think about how that's been created, not one other person has the same fingerprint as me in the whole entire world. And then even when you go beyond human beings and you look, like they said there in the video about the two seas that meet but they don't cross over, it's really amazing when you start to look into things like that and you look into the bigger picture.
I think though that it makes you think as well that everything that happens is happening for a reason, isn't it? And I think that's why, because if them two oceans crossed, that probably would end up in disaster, wouldn't it? It is interesting to think about it all, but I think rather than thinking about how you said about how you used to think about nothing really, just went about your daily
selfish
thing. But for me, honestly, I know I sound like I'm goody two shoes, but I've never been like that, because I'm not that person, am I? Each day I like to put a smile on people's faces, to be honest, and so for that reason I think that I've been quite worthy to the world, because I'm not thinking just about me, am I?
But do you ever think we were created by the Big Bang, or
no? I've never.
You
thought
don't think
that.
that?
No. It's more than that.
Do you believe that there is God? Or?
Yeah, and it was put on earth for a reason.
Yeah,
definitely. It's not just a Big Bang and an accident, and no, it's just.
I think before I became Muslim, I was agnostic, where I believed there was something, but didn't really care to look into it, and just didn't ever really interest me to find out, I guess.
But how many times have I said to you, we're just fatal, sort that decision out, or there's always something intervening, isn't there, to help you? And I think maybe people don't see that there aren't nice people, so maybe then there's lots of not so nice people on the planet. Thankfully there's more nice people, but maybe they are not seeing that because they're just thinking about themselves all the time, so they don't understand. But like you said then, I wasn't brought up in a religious family, but I was brought up with lots of not rules really, but this had to be like this, and
strict.
I couldn't leave a meal, and I still can't do that to this day, because that was put on the table. We're lucky.
Thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Let me know if you would like to see more videos on this topic, and maybe more videos with my mum. And I will see you in the next video, inshallah.
Bye. See you soon, hopefully.